A massage chair might seem a bit extravagant, especially these days. 8 different settings, adjustable intensity, plus it's heated, and it just feels so good. Yes, a massage chair might seem a bit extravagant, but when it can come with a car, suddenly it seems quite practical. The all-new 2025 Volkswagen Tiguan, packed with premium features like available massaging front seats, it only feels extravagant.
In Walmart's Huluville, everyone readied their cart. The early Black Friday deals are about to start. Online and in the app, such great deals to explore. Everything you love from tech, toys, and more. The days to save and the ones to remember are the 14th to the 16th of November. The Who's are all ready, but are you? Walmart Black Friday deals await. Who knew?
You know those Instagram posts with perfectly curated flat lays, a laptop next to a latte with foam art, and the caption says something like, just a queen building her empire, followed by nail crown computer heels emojis? Yeah, this episode is not that. On this episode of This Is Woman's Work, we're talking about entrepreneurship, but the real, the raw, and even the messy parts. The parts that don't show up in our feeds, the parts that look more like isolation, an avalanche of responsibility and decisions, and 12 open tabs of tech tools that you don't actually know how to use. The late nights where you're questioning all of your life choices, the trial and error of building systems from scratch, and the deep desire for freedom that often comes with a side of, holy crap, I miss having an IT department. And then there's the constant buzzwords, things like scaling, leveling up, leveraging, optimizing, ROI, and low-hanging fruit. Listen, those words can be helpful, but only when they're used in the right ways with the right people at the right time. Because when you're an entrepreneur, you're often not just the CEO. You're the marketing team, the tech department, the billing and accounting staff, the janitor, and sometimes the therapist, mostly for yourself. Entrepreneurship absolutely has its upsides: freedom, flexibility, alignment, impact. But let's not pretend it's all vision boards and passive income. It's also you, alone in your home office, wondering if this thing that you poured your soul into is ever going to work. As an entrepreneur myself, I think it's time we stop pretending that the path is all glamour. In my experience, it's muddy, confusing, and full of break your heart, should I give up moments. And that's why we're doing a few episodes just for our fellow entrepreneurs. Which brings me to today's guest, Dr. Darnyelle Jervey Harmon. Darnyelle is the award-winning, iconic, and incomparable CEO of Incredible One Enterprises, a multi-million-dollar coaching and consulting brand that's helped her clients generate over $500 million in sales. She's a 2-time Inc. 5000 CEO, a 7-time best-selling author, and the creator of the Move to Millions method, a powerful, proven framework that breaks down what scaling actually looks like. Spoiler, it's probably not what you think. She brings strategy, systems, and straight-up truth with a whole lot of faith and purpose baked in. Darnyelle, thank you for being our guest. And I want to start by talking about some of these hard things, these hard truths about being an entrepreneur that we don't often hear about. So I know from doing my research, you have talked about the 5 hard truths of being an entrepreneur. Can we start there?
Absolutely. And before we do, can I just say I love you so much? I was trying not to bust out laughing as you were doing the intro, because I'm like, yes, sister, can we stop acting like all we need is a laptop and a beach and we can make 7 figures? Because it is not that way, right?
At least it has not been for me. So
Not for me
thank
either.
you.
Yeah, not for me either. The hard truths. I mean, there's so much we can say. Here's what I will say, and I want to unpack a little bit of my story here just as a frame of reference. I did not wake up like this. You heard my amazing bio. Every time I hear it, I'm like, wow, that woman sounds amazing. But that is not how the story started. I started broke, busted, bankrupt, and disgusted. Okay. Like literally, I quit my good job. I started selling Mary Kay cosmetics, did well in Mary Kay, got the pink Cadillac and all the things. And then got the bright idea one day to start my own ground up business. And man, that I get slapped in the face with the reality of the fact that I did not have a proven business model and that the money was not just going to show up. I think someone lied and said, if you build it, they will come. Yeah, that's a lie. 'Cause I built it and they did not come. Like literally 9 months went by before I made my first dime as an entrepreneur in my own business. I ended up running through all of my savings and filing bankruptcy with $250,000 in credit card debt because I was trying to keep my business afloat until the first client came and living the same lifestyle I lived when I had a six-figure job in corporate America. Yeah, no, it was not sunshine and rainbows. There were no laptops on the beach. There was none of that. It was lots of hard work and more tears and disappointments and frustrations than anything. So the first hard truth is realizing that when you start your own ground up business, there is no proven business model from which to work. You're figuring it all out. And while everything might be figure outable, depending upon your own business acumen and what you bring to the table, the amount of time it might take you to figure things out might end you in bankruptcy court like it did me. Because that first 9 months and that money running out, I was not prepared for it. I honestly was duped, hoodwinked, and bamboozled enough to believe that I was going to show up, I was going to hang my shingle, and they were going to be clamoring to give me their money. Yeah, that's not how it went down.
And yet we all, I think, can relate. We've all had that thought. You used to call it a brilliant idea. And like there's some sarcasm in there, right?
Yes,
Because that's what it feels like.
absolutely.
You're like, I thought this was going to be brilliant. I thought people were going to look at this and be like, answer to all my problems. Yes.
Yeah.
And I love that you said, the computer on the beach, because that really is the visual. And I think for many of us, it's less computer on the beach and more sand in the crotch, right? It's like,
Oh yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I mean, honestly, like I used to just stop and be like, what the hell were you thinking? I mean, I left a $120,000 a year job before I started Mary Kay. And in Mary Kay, I did, about 180,000 a year, which was a good living. And the idea to give it all up in the pursuit of entrepreneurship, I mean, in the early days, it wasn't great. I had to go back to work. I mean, do you know how humbling it? Let me lean in. And I know no one will see this, but I'm leaning in right now because Nicole, when I quit my good job, when I walked out, oh, the scene I made. You'll never see me again. Or the next time you'll see me, I'll be on the Forbes list, right? Listen,
I kind of love that.
less than 2 years later, I'm like, Lord, if I don't find a job, I'm going to be living in my car. Now today, right? I went back to work for 2 years to figure out how to make sure that there was a roof over my head, some food on my table. Not like we were not tripping the light fantastic. I ate ramen noodles and peanut butter and jelly every other day for 18 months because that was really all that I could afford. Because even the job that I took only paid me $46,000 a year. And I took that job because I could not, my ego would not let me go back to corporate America. The way that I performed on my last day, there was no way I was going back. And so I had to suck it up and I had to figure it out. And so a second hard truth that I would love to share with the listeners is that everything you believe to be true will be called into question if you decide to become an entrepreneur. Every day and twice on Sunday. And you will have more days when you question if you are sane and you made the right decision than you will where you will feel like you just changed someone's life, especially until you get it figured out. Now, today on the other side, I've been full time in my business since January 1st, 2011. And every year we experience growth. At this point, 14 years full time. I run an 8-figure company. Life is good on this side, but there are still challenges. I had to fire a key employee in December. And guess what that means? That means Darnyelle is back performing some of the tasks that she had long left behind until we replace that team member. And so there's never a day when it is your company that you get to be completely removed from the business. And it's important. I'm so glad we're having this conversation and talking about the other side because we do want to act like all you need is a laptop and a shopping cart and the money's just going to come pouring in. Like I love the ads where people run ads to tell you you don't have to run ads to make
Yeah.
millions of dollars, right? Like, you don't need ads. I mean, yeah, I used an ad to find you, but you can do it without ads. Like, I mean, it's so much smoke and mirrors. And it took me a long time to figure it out and to do it sustainably. And that's why, today I'm so proud. We've helped 77 entrepreneurs have their first or next seven figures since 2021 because we figured out how to do it. But it took lots of bumps, bruises, and trial and error to get to this point.
Yeah, and I want to repeat that truth because it has been so true for me too. Is everything you believe will be called into question, right? And every time you claim to want to do something or be something or change something, it's like the God or the universe or whatever it is that you believe in will be like, let's see, right?
Right. Let's test that theory and see if you really have what it takes for this thing. Yes.
100%. 100%. So, how do you or what do you say to yourself to hang in there, to move through all the muddiness and the messiness and the fear and the doubt and all that stuff? Because obviously it is worth it, and
Yeah.
there is another side, or either that or we're just both crazy people.
Delusional. Right. Right. We're
Yeah.
delusional.
Well, and that might be a little part. I mean,
Well, and I think you need a little bit of delusion in your life to be an entrepreneur, to be honest.
same.
So, what do
Yeah.
I say to myself? I mean, this is my divine assignment, right? I am a God girl through and through, unapologetically. And I know that the mandate on my life is to entrepreneurship and to help other people experience the grace and ease that can accompany entrepreneurship. And so I have a why board. A lot of people create vision boards where, you put the big house you want to live in and the car you want to drive and the money in the bank account. I've got one of those too, but I also created a why board. And the why board is so that I could take care of my mother. It's so that I can create a legacy for my nieces and nephews. I'm not blessed to have my own children at this particular point in time. It's so that I can be the change I want to see in the world, right? And it is hard to be the change when you don't have any. And so on the really hard days, I remind myself why I get up, because God chose me. And I believed him when he said that I could do anything and that I'm more than a conqueror and that I could do exceeding and abundant above all I could ever ask of, think, or imagine according to the power that is at work within me. And because of that, I get up one more time. I have, setbacks and bad days just like everyone else. And this is with an 8-figure company. Like, it is not at no point is it all sunshine and rainbows. And I just want to be so clear. I think it is worth it though. When I think about clients who their children have grown up listening to their mom who coaches with me and they're becoming entrepreneurs themselves. And when I look at the fact that I've helped so many clients become the first millionaire in their family because of their business,
Yeah.
worth it to me.
Two big takeaways for me. First, I believe the common denominator of success is simply getting back into action on your toughest days. Like, I
Yeah.
always think what separates the most successful people from everybody else is not the amount of tough days they have, it's the choices they make in the face of them. It's the pick yourself up, dust yourself off, get back into action towards what matters most. To
Yeah.
me, that's the distinction. I love this concept of a why board. We hear a lot about vision boards and like bucket lists and things that we want. But I think I experience what I think you're saying too is in my toughest days, those things aren't important enough to me, like the car or the house or the thing that I want in the future. It's more internal, it's deeper, it's current, it's wanting to be an example for my daughter. It's
Yeah.
wanting to make myself and my parents proud. It's
Yeah.
there are deeper things that I think, and I love this concept of a Y board. You gave us two hard truths. Are there any others? I feel like I kind of cut you off, but are there any other?
I mean, we could talk about the truth for days, right? Like, so another hard truth is that it's not as simple as you put a message out there and they will come and buy, right? The strategy that goes into the marketing infrastructure you need to put in place to sustainably get enough sales to generate seven figures or more a year is not as simple. I think entrepreneurship is oversimplified on social media. And I get it because we want to make it seem easy so that people will want to come and work with us to figure it out. But what I'm always telling my clients the truth, right? And yes, and I'm the girl who says you can have a 7-figure business with grace and ease instead of hustle and grind. I absolutely do not believe you need to work 24/7. You need to work all the time. You can't sleep. You can't see your family. You need to sacrifice, get a divorce. I absolutely do not believe that. I believe that the antidote to hustle and grind are systems and infrastructure. And so taking the time to put the systems and infrastructure in place is what makes the difference and gives you the freedom to get some time back to be where you need to be when you need to be there. Like, I don't know about anybody else, but I became an entrepreneur so that I could call my own shots and I could determine how I'm going to spend my day. And if there's ever a day I wake up, I don't care how many meetings are on my calendar. If I don't feel it, I'm not doing it. And there is nothing that anyone can do to make me do it. And I don't have to apologize or give you a justification as to why I say we need to reschedule, period. And that is what it's all about. And so, but we also have to recognize that there are equally times where you can't not show up, right? Like, it's a balance, and there's ebbs and flows that go along with this journey called entrepreneurship. And I still wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm so grateful to have the people that are on my team that work with me. I don't think anybody works for me. I'm no one's boss, but I have an amazing team of people who support my efforts and the mission that I have in the world. And I'm so grateful for them because Darnyelle Antoinette, I don't think I could be an employee. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah,
So
I've done it, and I wasn't all the best at it. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I'm so grateful. And I try to lead and manage their efforts in a way that is becoming of how I would want to be treated. I'm not a micromanager. I give them the ability to show up fully and do what they think is best to get the results. I only lean in and step in when I have to, because I know that that's what I would want. And I think that that's the onus of entrepreneurship. If you're going to build out a team, you have to trust that you are putting people in place that understand the mission and the vision and are going to show up fully to that on the days when they can, right? And when they can't, there's even an element of grace there that I tell my team, if you're not feeling well, there are no prizes to earn for you to show up to work if you are not feeling your best. Don't show up to work. Please call out if that's how you're feeling, because I don't want you continuing to be sick at the sacrifice. Okay. I love what I do and I love my clients, but there is nothing that we are doing that is going to solve world peace. Like, there's not anything that we are doing here that is going to warrant your self-care and your sanity. Period. And as entrepreneurs, the gimmick that is expressed online is this whole hustle until it hurts, right? Like, never stop grinding. Yeah, that's not me. And I'm never going to be the person who says that, because I need you to stop grinding. I need you to take a breath and take some time for yourself. I need you to evaluate that even the steps that you are taking on any given day to move your business forward are the right steps. Because if all you do is grind, your head is down, you're not strategically presiding over the vision and your business, which means you're probably making mistakes. And it's probably the reason why you're not where it is you really want to be.
If you're anything like me, drinking enough water every day sounds great in theory, right up there with getting 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep and folding the laundry right away, which is why I found a smarter way to stay hydrated with Cure. Cure hydration packs are clean and simple, plant-based electrolytes, no added sugar, and just 25 calories. They hydrate better than water alone, and get this, they actually taste good. My favorite flavor is lemonade, but they have several great flavors that you can try, which make drinking water feel like less of a chore. They even have a Cure Hydration variety pack for kids. JJ uses them over long practices or tournament weekends, and honestly, I use them then too, because hauling kids around to all of their activities should qualify as a sport. Listen, staying hydrated isn't just about water. You also need electrolytes. That's why I love Cure. It's clean, tastes great, and actually works. And for This Is Woman's Work listeners, you can get 20% off your first order at curehydration.com/woman's work with code Woman's Work. And if you get a post-purchase survey, make sure to let them know you heard about Cure right here. It really helps support the show. Don't just drink more water, upgrade it with Cure.
When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp. the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
We've got gifting all wrapped up at Sephora. Gift more and spend less with our value sets, packed with the best makeup, skincare, fragrances, and hair care they'll love. This year's showstopper gift sets are bursting with beauty products from Rare Beauty, Summer Fridays, Glossier, Amika, and so much more. Shop holiday gifts at Sephora.com and give something beautiful.
Couldn't agree more with everything that you're saying. And I do think there is this general oversimplification and a lean towards grit and grind and hard work on one end, or like manifesting on the other end. And don't not believe in either. I believe that there are going to be times and ways in which we're going to need to work hard and take risks. And I also believe in the power of prayer or calling forth.
Yeah.
And what lands in the middle, what's necessary in the middle is what you said: systems, processes, infrastructure.
Yeah.
Even that, I'm afraid, is being a little oversimplified on the medias.
Yeah.
Because I think there's this lean towards, this is my system, process, or infrastructure. That's what you should do. And not every system is going to work for every business. Not
Correct.
every business needs the same infrastructure. So what advice do you have for people who are trying to figure out what are the best systems, processes, infrastructure for them and their business, given the stage they're in?
Yeah, I love this question. I want to back up for just a second to because I agree with you that there's a balance in between, right? And so I call it the soul and the strategy. You need a little bit of both in order to make this thing work, right? And I do believe that we have to work on our inner game at 3 times the rate we work on our outer game, because all the strategies work. So whether you're running challenges or doing live events or doing webinars or getting out and networking, they all work. And so to your point, you've got to figure out for your business. So one of the things we do with our clients that I believe is very unique in the market. So first and foremost, I am a business consultant. I have an MBA. I am not a person who figured out how to do one thing in the name of entrepreneurship and decided to call myself a business coach. I don't care what kind of business you have. I can take a look at what's going on beneath the hood and give you a path that will get you to the growth and sustainability that you desire, because I understand business. And to that end, when we're working with a client, the very first thing we do is we give them an assessment that is probably 200 questions, if I'm being honest. It's arduous, but from that, we can create a custom roadmap for their business model, and how they are going to get to 7 figures. Because there has to be some individualization and customization in any strategy that is suggested in order to make sure that it's going to work for you. We do the market a disservice when we blanket them and say, hey, you've got to do it this way, right? Now, I think that there are some logistics to how it gets done based on the strategy that they decide to employ, but there are a lot of strategies that could be employed, and all of the strategies work. And so if you're out there right now, and let's say you have a business that is just over 6 figures, but maybe not at $500,000 yet. Right now, you are still technically proving concept. I believe you can oops your way to 6 figures, but you cannot to 7. And so what you really need to do is you need to hunker down and tighten your strategy. Now, I want to be very clear. It only takes one offer to make 7 figures. You don't need a whole bunch of different things like a lot of people want to tell you that you need in order to get to 7 figures. So you're going to have to first get really, really clear about the key P's, right? Who is the person that I'm going to serve? What is the problem I'm going to solve? What is the package I'm going to put that problem in? What is the price I'm going to associate with it? How much profitability is it going to bring me? How do I position this? How do I promote it? And how do I plan to leverage it to get me to the milestone that I want to make? Once we understand those things for your business, the next thing we're looking at is your sales infrastructure. How are you getting people to the yes? And how are you doing it consistently enough so that there are enough yeses happening every single week and every single month inside of your business to allow you on a quarterly basis, 90 days at a time, to hit the mile markers that you set that are ultimately going to get you to the end of the year goal that you've established. Businesses are best run in 90-day sprints. So trying to run your business 12 months out, yeah, you're going to fail. It's going to be hard because so many things can change. Right now in the market that we're in, it could flip-flop 60 days from now. And if you've got a concrete strategy that you are hell-bent on working and the market changes, you're in trouble. So 90 days at a time is really all you need to think about inside of your business. And as you identify that core strategy and determine the way that you are going to get sales, you then want to start to erect systems. These are the things that are going to make your success predictable and prevent you from having to start from scratch every time you want to sell somebody else something. The best systems include standard operating procedures and standard automating procedures with the right software. Now, there are a gazillion pieces of software you could be using. You've got to figure out the tech stack that is best for your business, based on your client, based on your offer, based on your end goal, because they all work. And you could use any of them to get to where it is that you want to be. I think those are the three keys, no matter where you are. But if you're especially from 100K up to 500K, tighten there. Get really, really clear on what it is that you're doing, because the stronger your message, the more marketing power you're going to have. And the more leads you have, the more you can take the time to close them. And after you get that strategy tight, master that sales conversation, master getting to the yes. Once you get over 500,000, now we really want to be looking at team. Now, from 100 to 500,000, you do need, in addition to yourself, at least an admin and at least one talent team member, someone else who can perform the service for your clients, because it's going to become quickly important for you to not be in the service delivery so that you can actually strategically preside over the vision and take the business higher. And if you have to be tied to your computer to have calls with clients, then it's going to be hard for you to actually do the things that are going to be required to set the business up to scale.
Well, myself included, I think every entrepreneur needs to rewind and listen to that over and over and over again, like maybe on a daily basis. There were so many good things. I love all of the powerful P's and everything that you said. This is a small question, which will lead to a different question, but you mentioned the tech stack. I think the technology can be really overwhelming for a lot of entrepreneurs, especially people like me who say we're not very tech savvy. Are there any sort of like, I don't know, these are a few things that you need to have in your tech stack? Any advice there?
Yeah. So, number one, you need to have a customer relationship management system, or CRM. You'll be able to have landing pages, places for you to put the links where you want people to buy, right? You'll be able to do your marketing. So all of the emails you need to send out, you'll be able to do the various sales pieces of your pipeline inside of a good CRM, and you'll be able to take notes and collect data on your leads as they are coming in. So a good CRM is going to cut through a lot. And a good CRM is also going to have an e-commerce solution, meaning you can take money from people that way. Now, you might still have to connect it to Authorize.net or Stripe or any of those processing services, but you should be able to do almost everything in your CRM. Outside of that, that's probably the most important thing. You might need someone who helps you with graphic design work. And I'm including that in your tech stack because you could use Canva. Now, if you are design adept, right? If you know how to put things together, maybe you could just use Canva yourself. If not, if you have a virtual assistant or someone on your team that has a design background, they can use a tool like Canva. Canva will allow you to create PowerPoint presentations, social media images, edit videos, like Canva also does a lot of things for you. So Canva, a good CRM, because if the CRM has everything that you need in it to manage your marketing and to manage your sales functionality, and you have Canva, that could literally be all you need. You might need like a webinar platform, right? So you're using Zoom, or you're using platforms for your webinars if you're doing webinars, but you don't have to have a lot of tech, right? Very, very lean is definitely a possibility for you.
And I'm so glad that you said CRM first, because I think most new business owners and entrepreneurs have a tendency to want to lean straight into their website as a standalone first offering.
I have so many clients that have gotten to the $1 million mark without a website. Like, you don't even need it, because if your CRM will allow you to put up landing pages for the various things that you need to get in front of people. Like, I feel like people spend way too much time and money on the aesthetics of their brand before they even know that they have a message that resonate with their most ideal client. So I mean, I've been in business. We don't count the first 3 years. They're the lost years. Shh, we don't talk about those. But since 2011, I've been in business. You know when I went through the branding process? 2021. My first 10 years in business, I had a template website. It was terrible. It was so bad. Like, especially if you go to look at my website now, you'll be like, there's no way. But literally, I wish I could show you like what it used to look like. It was terrible. But you know what? We were making money. It did everything we needed it to do to be able to collect money. That's all a website needs to be able to do. Spending the money on all of the pretty things could be a waste until you know who you are, the problem you solve, and the solution you can bring to the market for them that makes their success predictable and solves the problem they've been unsuccessful at solving on their own.
Yeah, I think it speaks to an inclination that is problematic in business and in life, and that is to care far more about how it looks than how it is.
Yeah,
And we need to let that go.
absolutely. Release it. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. I know it's a pet peeve for me. Yeah, I know it bothers you. I don't know if it's a pet peeve, but when people start talking about scaling too soon, I want to scale to six
Mhm.
figures, things like that. Why does it bother you? And what should we be thinking instead when it comes to scaling?
Yeah. So, first of all, let's just define scaling. Scaling is the act of multiplying, duplicating, and replicating a set of systems and strategies in order to increase results and revenue. So at six figures or before you're at six figures, you are absolutely not scaling because you don't even know what you're doing. The average business gets to $100,000. It was an oops. They have no clue. So why would they want to multiply, duplicate, or replicate something that they're not even sure what they did? So you grow to six figures, you test and you poke and you prod to hit six figures. Once you know that what you did and what you are doing is getting the clients that you want to serve, your most ideal pinnacle clients, to come to you in large enough numbers for you to make the revenue you want to make. Once you know that the process that you're using, the framework or methodology, is actually getting them results, what you say in your marketing, you can actually deliver in your service, then you're ready to start thinking about scaling. Because now you've got something that you want to multiply, duplicate, or replicate, and you can use systems and strategies to help you to get it to happen. Scaling is not about speed, it's about using the right strategies, moving the right levers in order to produce the result for a much larger quantity, right? It's about going from getting one yes and one new client at a time to getting 20 or 100 or 300 new clients at a time. And that can only happen when you know exactly who you are and what you're doing and the problem you solve and exactly how you solve it, so that these systems are making your success and the success that your clients deserve and desire predictable as soon as they start working with you.
Okay, I know from looking at your website, you talk about making, then moving, and then leaving millions.
Yeah.
There are some people who have stuff about money. Like there's this idea that you can make too much money. I sometimes struggle with that of like, when's enough enough? Or like, don't talk about money. It's impolite or whatever.
Yeah.
I would love to hear your thoughts about the making, the moving, and the leaving of millions and how important legacy is in this entrepreneurship journey that many of us are on.
Yeah, I love this question for so many reasons. So, yes to making. You got to make it before you can move it and then ultimately leave it. And so making is the act of, solving a problem. And as entrepreneurs, we solve problems for profit, right? We've got to charge way more than it costs so that there's money left over in order for us to be able to earmark money to move. And when we're moving money through the causes and the people that are important to us inside of our life experience. But we also still want to have a cutout to leave. Like, I think about the story of the two richest families, the Vanderbilts and the Rockefellers. Well, we know that the Vanderbilts have lost their wealth, right? It lasted one generation because there was not this understanding and this education around how to continue to establish wealth. Well, the Rockefellers, on the other hand, like, let's just celebrate John D for a second. John D did his thing. He made enough money for 7 generations of Rockefellers to never have to lift their hand in effort to perform to earn a dollar. And if that wasn't enough, he made sure that his heirs taught their children about wealth and money. And every single heir has to add to the wealth to extend the number of hundreds of years that their wealth will be established. Oh, that is legacy at its finest. Legacy is going to require education. Now, most of us, regardless of whether we come from money or not, we are born financially illiterate for everything that you just said, because our parents tell us that it is rude to ask someone about money or to talk about money. Money is not polite conversation over dinner. And so you know what we do? We stuff down whatever feelings and beliefs we have about money, or even our desire to understand what it is and how it works. We stuff it down. And you know what? It fills up. It becomes lack that is lodged in our body that makes it uncomfortable for us as entrepreneurs to go and charge what we need to charge to perform the service, to be able to pay a team. Like, the main reason why so many 6-figure entrepreneurs are solopreneurs is because they're not charging enough to hire team. The money's got to come from somewhere. And if you have a misnomered belief about money because of the way that you were raised and what you were taught or what you caught, then you are not going to understand that money is just a transactional energy that is always available, and it is moving right now. And because of that energy and the way you hold based on your relationship with money, it will prevent more of it from flowing into your life experience. I believe that money flows away from those who feel that there's a shortage of it. And if you talk to money in a manner that is disrespectful by saying things like, it's expensive, or I can't afford that, or it's not in my budget, to something that's always available and always here, why would money want to spend time with you? I'm not spending time with anyone, Nicole, who calls me out of my name. I'm just not going to do it. So if you don't want to call me Darnyelle or DJ, we can't hang. You absolutely cannot call me a bitch. Like, I don't understand why women think that it's okay to speak to each other that way. And money is the same way. If you don't talk to money in a manner that demonstrates that you respect its power and you know what it does, it's not going to spend time with you. It's going to go find someone else to spend time with. And so that's how we get the haves and the have-nots. And most of us, you know, my people included, now most people won't see this, but you'll see my picture on the image for the podcast, and it'll quickly show you that I am a Black girl. I'm a woman of color. And if you know the history of this country, you already know what happened to my people. And so money for us was something that was elusive and not readily available. My dad used to tell me, I felt like every day, but it probably wasn't every day. He used to say, you are just blessed and grateful to get what they're willing to give you. And you know what? I internalized that belief. And I remember when I took my first job in corporate America, making $19,041 an hour. Now, this was back in 1997. But one day I learned that the person sitting next to me who was doing the same exact job was making $30,000 a year. I didn't know that I had the right to ask for a different amount because of what my dad told me. And those are the people who are running businesses today, who are entrepreneurs that are not making 6 figures or 7 figures. Like, I literally believe everyone I meet, when I meet them, they have a 7-figure business when I meet them. They're just not packaged, priced, or positioned correctly because of the way they see themselves and the way they see money.
Well, first, I feel like we just went to church. Thank you and amen.
You're welcome.
And I think that that's one of the upsides to me of entrepreneurship, is being the decider and the determiner of my own worth.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people are worried about the risk of entrepreneurship, but I always think, well, there's a risk of corporate or being employed by somebody else. And the risk is they get to decide
Yep.
your value, what they're going to compensate you, your career trajectory, your promotions. And that, to me, is a woman, is too big of a risk.
Yeah.
And that's why, and I'm not saying entrepreneurship is for every woman, but that's one of the reasons I really love it. And
Yeah.
Darnyelle, I could talk to you all day, and I know people are going to want to find you and learn more. So we're going to put everything in show notes, but Darnyelle's website is movetomillions.com, and there are tons of freebies available on her website. And the book is Move to Millions. I'm going to be ordering it right now. You should too. Darnyelle, thank you for your passion, for an incredible conversation, and for helping more of us make, move, and leave a legacy.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that when money is in the hands of women, the world changes. So, girls, let's go get this money. It's
Couldn't agree
ours
more.
for the taking. So, let's go get it. And I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me, Nicole.
My pleasure. And I couldn't agree more. All right, friends, entrepreneurship isn't for the faint of heart. And if you're in it or even thinking about stepping into it, I hope this conversation reminds you that you're not alone, that the messy part doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong, that the confusion doesn't mean that you're failing. It's all part of the figuring out. Profit and purpose can coexist, and faith in yourself, your vision, and whatever higher power you roll with, it all matters. So keep building, keep trusting, keep redefining what success looks like for you, because this, the leading, the building, the believing, and the becoming, all of that is woman's work.
You know the words dominating today's headlines.
Private equity,
generative capital gains tax,
America's chip
fueled by market volatility.
Bets on Fed rate cuts are sweet.
But do you understand how they impact your world and your wallet? In a world that skims the what, understand the why. Because context changes everything. Subscribe at Bloomberg.com.